All right, so we're going to show you today how to get from this to this. Whole pomegranate, we're going to de-seed it. It's going to be great. All right, so I don't need these scraps, those will go to the compost. Clean that up. First thing you want to do, I'm going to remove my sticker. Even though it's, obviously I'm not going to eat the skin, but I am going to wash it. I think it's always important to wash your produce. Doesn't matter what kind of soap. It could be dish soap. It could be special fruit and vegetable, whatever. But definitely give your produce a good wash, especially if you buy it from a grocery store. All right, that's good. Now, first thing I do in this technique, it's very important. So there's two sides to the pomegranate. You got your stem side and then the other side. Sometimes this has more prongs kind of branching off of it, but you're gonna skip that. You're not gonna cut through the stem, obviously. It's a little bit challenging. So with this knife, I'm going to cut away this so it's flush against the side of the fruit, just like so. Okay. That's just going to help us get to the meat of it without it in the way. Sometimes they get really hard when they start drying out, and it's just no good. So your key is this beginning stage when you're going to score a nice little X into your pomegranate, into that same side where you just cut off, right? And I'm just going really lightly. Depending on how fresh your pomegranate is, it will be thick skin or thin skin. The last one I cut was pretty thin, but this one is still a little juicy. So it's a little bit easier to cut, but I got this X thing going on. Now, there's no seeds right down that center into the flesh, so I'm going to take the point of my knife carefully, and I'm just going to stab in to the center one way along my X and the other way. Again, this is a careful operation. You are using a knife. So once I sort of have those scores going, I'm going to use just the very tip of my blade, kind of like a drawing tool, and I'm going to score it right down the side, all the way to the stem. I'm not going through the stem, on all four prongs here. Now this is very lightly. I'm not deeply scoring it. I'm not trying to cut it through. This is not an apple. So that, like so. This doesn't have to be perfect, but just a nice score. Trying to avoid cutting too many seeds. You can start to go by feel a little bit if you're like in the flesh, if you're still, cutting through seeds. So I'll come back one more time and sort of deepen that center portion. You really want to take your time on this because it's going to help you in the long run. All right, so same side. I got my two thumbs. I'm sort of going to squeeze. I'm going to give it a test. I think I cut through the flesh. It's not really thick. Oh yeah, you can hear that nice beautiful. Now I'm going to want a place for these seeds to go. So before I go any further, get yourself some Tupperware. Alright. All my seeds are going to go in here. So nice and sometimes the seeds will kind of fall right out, but the key after you score, being very gentle but strong hands, sort of separating those wedges. But once you have even a small segment right here, I start to use like my finger, and my thumb, my forefinger, my thumb, to just lightly rotate all of these seeds one by one, or little patches at a time, out of their sockets. They're sitting at home and kind of feels like a bunch of loose teeth. The only ones I leave in the flesh are the ones that may be a little like wrinkle, gross. You see those there? Yeah. I avoid those. Rip away as much flesh as you want. But the key is to be nice and gentle with the seeds themselves so they stay whole. Yep, that's good. All right. It takes a lot of time to sort of build up the skill to do it this quickly. So we get a feel and a rhythm for how the seeds sit and how the pomegranate just kind of just situated. Oh yeah. But I promise that if you kind of stick to it, it's well worth the labor, or the fruits of your labor, so to speak. But I'm not squeezing them or you're gonna take your time, be patient. I love the pomegranate, I love you back. Give you all those antioxidants and a pleasurable activity. Final stretch. Well, just about does it. Now you have 2 to 3 cups off of one big juicy pomegranate. You can close this up, refrigerate it for another few days, a week, maybe more. They keep for a good while if they're nice and refrigerated, but there you have it. Pretty clean extraction. The only ones left behind are the little shriveled, kind of overripe. Well, there you go. Best of luck.